You mentioned right now with your company, you're going over, you're doing a little bit of a rebrand.
Yeah, so I've had my company since, the last 26 years. I've been Medea's Healthy Lifestyle Concepts. It's kind of a mouthful. But, the reason I chose that name, it really represents what I help people do, which is make a sustainable change to a healthier lifestyle. So this is not dieting. This is not treating symptoms. This is not short term. It's sustainable. And that's, if you're going to throw money at getting healthy, wouldn't you like to stay that way? Wouldn't you like it to be more than, a 6-month diet program or, doing Weight Watchers or, whatever, paying for a tummy tuck, which that you untuck because you go back to eating pizzas and drinking soda or whatever you're doing that isn't good for you.
Yeah.
So it's really about getting healthier. And as we make healthier choices, the body gets healthier. This is nature.
Right.
So that's what I'm teaching.
Prevention, correct?
Yeah, of course. This is truly preventative medicine. So yes, my new branding name is New Earth Natural Medicine. I currently have a website at newearthnaturalmedicine.com that I'm in the process of transferring from the Medea's Healthy Lifestyle Concepts.com to that. But there is quite a bit of content. I have about 80 published articles on my original, they've been moved to the new website, as well as number of testimonials. And I have a pretty long bio. So, I've, as I say, I've been in it to win it since I was 20. So I was a pre-med student at Clark University, and I started there in 1984. In 1985, a lab partner handed me a book called Health and Healing by a man who you guys might know. You're quite a bit younger than me, but probably a lot of your listeners would have heard of Andrew Weil. And he has the big bushy beard. Actually, he started True Food Cafe, which is in our Waterside Mall here, right? That chain. But he I think he was at Harvard. He came out of Harvard. He was a doctor. And I think he was less than, thrilled with the way Western medicine was being taught. And this was early, this is 1980, and went down to South America and kind of met with some natural healers and herbalists. And so he wrote this book called Health and Healing that talks about the difference between allopathic medicine, where we start with a diagnosis, and then we find a treatment for that condition by treating the symptoms. So say you walk into your doctor and you have a rash and they go, oh, well, it's eczema. Okay, then here's some creams or lotion and, cortisone, whatever. But what's missing, I'm going to get to the allopathic, to the holistic side, is what caused it. Mm-hmm. Something caused it.
That we always want to know, and they never give us an answer.
Right. It's just like, we don't know, but they should know once you go to your pre-med and you go to med school and become a specialist and you're a dermatologist and how many years and how much money did you put into school. You should know. Mm-hmm. But, they're not taught why. Right. So we're treating symptoms. And then when that doesn't work, and maybe it's a part short term,
like a Band-Aid,
right? Then in many times, and maybe not with eczema, but a lot of times we go to surgery, right? So say you have joint pain. We'll use the joint, knee and hip issue, which here, like in Naples, I was shocked when I moved down here in 2018 and teaching yoga at the club at the Strand. I was the director of health and wellness there. How many people younger than me, and I'm 57 now, we're getting knee replacements, hip replacements. I'm like, this is insane. And then, what I learned is there's a very busy company here called Arthrex. And that, most of the time they walk into the doctor, there's something that causes the joint pain, and I know what it is, and this is what I teach my clients, but they don't know what it is. And they use cortisone shots, right? That's pretty common. Fixes the pain, reduces the inflammation, but it's temporary. Mm-hmm. And what it does, and this is true, this is verifiable, is that it erodes the cartilage in the joint, and the cartilage is what keeps, with the synovial fluid, right, keeps that joint functioning and working. So it ends up kind of eating that up, And then, boy, when the pain comes back, it's even worse. And then we're at the point of, well, sorry, all you can do, we're bone on bone. How many people, right? Bone on bone. We got to do a total replacement. And that, $50,000, but if you have insurance, it covers it, blah, blah, blah. But so many people never get back to a place of full functioning, right? After that, then they're limping, or it doesn't work right, or it doesn't fit right. Then they're in chronic pain. And unfortunately, the story of so many people who are giving OxyContin and other pain relievers that now they got a whole other battle on their hands. Never mind the antibiotics that are used when you're under surgery, because this directly wipes out the white microbiome in the gut, which not only creates digestive issues, it creates immune issues, autoimmune issues, and hormonal imbalance. So there's this cascade of problems. So the allopathic medicine, I'm very clear with this with clients. If you are in a trauma, you had a car accident, you fell downstairs, by all means, go to the emergency room, get an MRI, get some diagnostics, find out, is there neurological damage? Is there bone damage, right? That's a trauma, okay? So that's a certain kind of injury that happens, and our Western medicine's amazing, right? We can replace organs, congenital birth defects. There's a lot of amazing things that we can do on the traumatic end. But most of these 99.9% of our healthcare costs in this country, this is chronic. Where did it come from? It's not an injury, but we do eat every day. We do drink water every day. And we either move our bodies or we don't move our bodies. Mm-hmm. So it's lifestyle. And it's been known that, right? Our obesity, diabetes, heart disease, cancer, all of these autoimmune issues, all of the leaky gut, diverticulitis, all of this is lifestyle. It's what we're eating and how we're treating our bodies. Mm-hmm. And one problem causes another. So functional medicine, I am a functional medicine nutritionist. I have a master's degree in nutrition. I have worked with many top functional medicine doctors and have several certificates and courses that I did in functional medicine specifically. Worked with leaders in the field over the last 26 years. And this is about understanding the cause. Mm-hmm. So, and there's multiple causes. So there's never one thing that gets us sick and there's never one thing that gets us better, but there's multiple things. So when a client goes to my website, fills out a men or a women's health history form, and then I offer everybody a free initial consultation. I want somebody to make an educated decision about hiring me. It's not just like I charge X dollars an hour. I want us to sit down together, and I have my clients say on that form, what are your top concerns, your top 3 concerns, and what are your top 3 goals? Mm-hmm. Because we're doing this together. This is my program that you either achieve or fail at. This is a program we do together.
Program consist of? Because you were saying earlier that you don't do any testing.
Well, I it's not that I don't do testing, but a lot of times when people have come to me, they've already been down the medical route. Yeah. And they usually have gone from bad to worse in that time.
So does that mean that they come to you with like reports, blood work, things
they could have blood tests, but usually they go down that medical route and have been on medications for many years. It's not improving the condition, whether it's low thyroid, whether it's depression, whether it's leaky gut, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue.
What does leaky gut mean? Because I've heard that term before, and I'm not sure what.
Just before we keep going,
yes.
Can I have you turn a little
sure.
bit? Yeah.
This way? Okay, sorry.
I just want to make sure
that... Am I supposed to be looking? So you guys can see me?
Come closer a little bit this way.
Okay. This way.
Yeah.
This way?
Just want to make sure that you're not...
This way.
No, like next to Joanna, like a little bit.
Oh, this way.
So you can show yourself there.
Okay. Oh, so you can see me here. Okay. Yeah. Great. Now we're good.
And the more you talk closer to the top of it, that's better.
Can I turn this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There we go. So, a couple of questions here. Which one was I answering?
What does the leaky gut mean?
Okay.
I've heard that term before several times.
Sure. Well, it has to do with the digestive system and what the role is, which it's digestion, absorption, and assimilation of nutrients. So when the body's been exposed to chemicals, specifically antibiotics. There's a whole lot of antibiotics, never mind what has been prescribed to us and we take if we have a cold or a flu or as a kid, you're sick, you're given an antibiotic. It's in the food supply now. So there's a healthy layer of good bacteria that works with our villi, which is in the intestinal tube. There's the whole small intestine, large intestine. That is where the good bacteria and the good microbiome helps to digest that food, and then it absorbs through the capillaries in the villi. So that's how we should be digesting. But what happens when we have antibiotics or fluorinated water, we lose that healthy microbiome. And then there's something called candida. So then the pathogens, the bad stuff takes over. So it's like out west when there were wolves and they killed all the wolves, and then all of a sudden the deer took over and got ticks and there was disease. So the deer had a role to play, right? So I worked with a woman named Donna Gates who wrote the Body Ecology Diet. She healed herself of all these chronic gas, bloating, migraines, just sick, because she had been given too many medications. And she figured out, how do we have to rebuild this inside of the intestinal wall? So the deal is, when you lose the good stuff, the bad stuff, specifically candida, that is present, it's fungus, it's in the digestive system, but it grows roots literally through the tube of the intestinal wall. So it creates holes. So that's what it means by leaky gut. And the undigested food ends up in the bloodstream, right? So if you guys remember, this is really what I'm teaching my clients. This is 8th, 9th grade biology, or 10th grade, whatever. So the undigested food ends up in the blood. What's the role of the white blood cells, right? It's defending the body from intruders. And our largest molecules are protein. So gluten is a protein in wheat. It ends up in the bloodstream. The white blood cells are circulating and see it, and they're going to attack it. The role of the white blood cells is to kill anything that is not you. It's a foreign invader. So we should have a sealed unit from one end to the other in the digestive system. So you understand this process. We lost the good stuff that protected the membrane. The bad stuff grows roots through the undigested food. You're eating wheat, you're eating dairy, you're eating peanuts, you're eating shellfish. It ends up in the bloodstream. And those white blood cells see the foreigner and attack it. And then they're going to react. We have something called mast cells that create histamine. And the histamine reaction is the inflammatory reaction in the body. And there's a whole lot more that gets complicated with the whole inflammatory reaction that involves cortisol, et cetera, et cetera. It can get complicated. But the point is, we need to, all chronic health begins with the gut. Just like growing a garden, right? You can't expect to have a thriving, mango tree. I have mangoes down here, Golden Gate Estates, or apple tree or anything. If the roots are unhealthy, and if you're not giving it the right amount of potassium, nitrogen, water, sun, right? Those are the conditions for health. We can't expect to be thriving, healthy hair, skin, energy, if we're not putting the right food into the body, which is like the fertilizer, and if the roots aren't working. So they're not working. When we have leaky gut, the undigested food is in the gut, right? So then people get food allergies. So this is what I was going to say. There's the allopathic, where we're just looking at symptoms, treating symptoms. That does not work. The drugs don't work. The surgery doesn't work. Because it's not addressing the cause. The holistic model, we're saying, what caused this rash? What caused this joint pain? What caused this low energy?
The government?
Well, so this is where
I want to go because I want to go, back a little bit.
Yes,
and
please go ahead.
So, holistic medicine gets created. Medicine, the regular.
There's allopathic, and we could say a holistic model. Okay. Holistic or functional, which is now called functional medicine. Functional medicine means we're looking at the function of the body. Okay?
And no medicine.
Well, it's like the natural way.
So we are supporting the body in healing itself. right? So allopathic, we see a symptom, this is wrong, we're going to suppress the symptom. But we don't ask why. Something caused the symptom. Something caused the eczema. Something caused the joint pain. So if that person comes to me and they're filling out the health history form for me, what I want to know is the symptoms. Mm-hmm. Do you have energy? Do you have dry skin? Do you get colds? Do you have allergies? How do you feel? Because guess what? The proof's in the pudding. You cannot deny the reality. This is empirical science. This is what scientists used to do. Mm-hmm. Now, lab tests, sure. If I can't figure something out, there's a whole lot of other holistic practitioners I can refer to, and I can order lab tests. But I don't need them 99.99% of the time, because when someone comes to me and I'm drinking soda, I'm eating, pasta, rice, and I'm not taking any vitamins, or I'm just going to CVS or Costco and getting the cheapest vitamins, then I can see we got some improvement to do with nutrient-dense food and healing the gut so it's bioavailable and your body gets the nutrients. Guess what? When it gets what it needs, we don't have skin problems. We don't have joint inflammation. We don't have a weak immune system. We don't have an imbalanced hormonal system. The body, we don't have to micromanage the biochemistry of the body. Just like, do you have to micromanage a mango tree to make mangoes? When you give it the right nutrients, right, which a botanist would know, right, or a horticulturist, what does this plant need? You give it what it needs, it's going to do what it should. Mm-hmm. Same thing with the body. Mm-hmm. But we don't know what we're supposed to feed our bodies, is what it comes down to.
What are your views on food in the U.S.?
So my views, it's right here on the front of my rack card, and it says, knowledge is power, get in the know. So there is something called vested interest, if you want me to jump into that. Mm-hmm. And there's something called big ag and big pharma. And big ag creates the problems for profit. It's all about profit. We have a profit-driven sick care system. And almost anybody out there who's trying to help humanity and teach from a place of truth and science will be saying this stuff. Mm-hmm. If they got something to sell, they're going to sell whatever they're selling. I'm selling education. I'm selling health. I'm also selling self-empowerment. Because once you know the truth, you know the truth. Once you know that all organic means is it doesn't have chemicals. 100 years ago, everything was organic. Yeah. Right? Everything should be organic. Our body does not need pesticides. But when you do monoculture and you have pests, and it's not about our benefit. So that's what the individual has to understand in this country. It's about self-empowerment. You can't expect that your government and private industry has done anything for your behalf. They've done it for their behalf. And when these are public companies, it's about their corporate profits. Mm-hmm. Profits are about we pay our employees as little as possible, and we charge as much as we can. Right? Mm-hmm. Have you seen a box of Frosted Flakes? $5. For what? Poison. Mm-hmm. Right? So this is where we can't get healthy unless we're not putting healthy food in the body. Right? Impossible. Yeah. It's just it's illogical.
I feel like there is a huge disconnect when it comes to teaching someone what to do when for 20 years they've been doing the opposite. Well, and sure. because at some point, so I see a country just like a company, just like a family, right? Mm-hmm. Everything comes from the top. So right. You start teaching people, or you don't teach people the right things in school, right? The things that are important, and then you try to be the problem solver, right? When it's most of the time too late.
Well, it's never too late for anybody to get healthier. Mm-hmm. Okay. So if you grew up in a family where you had a grandmother or mother that cooked, that had a culinary tradition, in many cases you came from a country where you were using real food. You were using herbs, you had your own, maybe you had chickens or pigs or goats or something. And there's a lot of, I was in the Peace Corps after college. So let me back up a little bit of my history. So I was pre-med in 1985. I learned that there's a big difference between allopathic medicine and holistic. And I will say it's about, and we can, mind, body, spirit, it's about cause and effect. And when we give the body what it needs, it will, in its infinite wisdom, just like nature. We don't have to micromanage grass or birds. It knows what to do. Our body will heal itself when we give it what it needs. So I knew this was right. I just didn't know how it worked. Mm-hmm. So I always say, I wish my parents were hippies, but they weren't. So I grew up with Tang and Frosted Flakes and going to the doctor just like everybody else did in the 70s. But when I saw this concept, I knew for me going to med school was not the right decision. I knew that my thinking would be limited. And I really had a very strong feeling that the drug companies were running the med schools, which everybody knows is true now, but most people did not know this in the 80s. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I sought a different route. I ended up getting a bachelor's degree called Environment, Technology, and Society. Mm-hmm. So I switched all my sciences to understanding the natural world. Again, science. How does this work? And then I spent 2.5 years in Paraguay, South America as a Peace Corps volunteer. I was an agroforestry volunteer. I married another volunteer down there who was a beekeeper. And we lived off 20 kilometers off pavement with the campesinos who were very healthy and happy. And in the morning, the 95-year-old abuela next door would get up and be chopping firewood. Perfectly fine, perfectly healthy, perfectly functional.
95.
Oh, yeah, wood. Absolutely. But this is not rare in these cultures, in traditional cultures. That wasn't rare for anybody 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago. 5,000 years ago. But we've been taught everybody died at 40 with, if you don't have the drugs, if you don't have the chlorinated water,
you're not going to make it.
And it's proving to be quite the opposite now, isn't it? So what is Blue Zones about? Blue Zones are communities that were too far for Coca-Cola to get their stuff up the mountain. It's the people who live in the Andes, live in these remote communities.
You mean back in the days?
No, I'm talking about now. There's a whole
Naples,
Blue Zones.
Blue Zone?
Yeah.
Like going
so well, now it's been co-opted. It's let's get healthy kind of thing that the hospitals use to make it look like they care about health. But the original report came out of National Geographic, and it was a study where they went all over the world and found people who were living the longest, and we should be living to at least 120. And the people that they found,
that's going to happen.
120, at least over 100.
Their grandma is almost there. She's 104.
Okay. Well, that's wonderful.
She works
Not
out,
me,
has a
not me.
six-pack, the whole thing.
No, really? Your grandmother does? Really? And where are you guys from? Where's your Peru. Okay, so there you go. I had a chance to spend time in Bolivia on the way back from Paraguay. So these native cultures, and we don't need more money to be healthy. We need more common sense. And we need more real food, and we need less chemicals.
And less corruption.
What everybody isn't everybody different in terms of the nutrition that they should be eating? Consuming.
Number one, we're all human, right? At least most of us, right? until we become, until Elon,
makes you
a cyborg, right? Until you get an implant. We're more, what we need to function is more similar than different. Okay. Mm-hmm. What the individuality is how the body's been damaged.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? So we all need clean water. We all need we need vitamins, we need minerals, we need antioxidants, we need amino acids, which are the building blocks of protein. We need good fats. What we need to function is all the same thing. And I have a great article on my website called Nutrition 101 where I lay this out. And it's one of the first articles I have my clients read. Mm-hmm. But their deficiency, their problem, whether it's leaky gut, whether it's migraines, whether it's hormonal imbalances, right? This has to do more with what was their exposure? Were they exposed to pesticides? How many antibiotics did their parents give them when they were a kid? Right? That's going to affect the gut as adults. Most of my adults who have gut issues, they had tons of antibiotics as kids because their parents thought they were doing the right thing. Right? So how it expresses is a function of there's a phrase, we are as strong as our weakest link. So if your gut is weak, then you're going to end up with those problems, right? So that's the path I go down through and get everybody. We're There's two things that cause illness. It's deficiency and it's toxicity. So in every moment, every cell, the basic unit of our body is a cell. The nutrients need to be going in and the toxins need to be going out. So this is the cell, this is the tissue, this is the organ system, this is the whole body. Right?
So what do you do in a case of you have a sick child, you take them to the doctor, and they have strep throat and they need antibiotics? You said that antibiotics as a child is bad. But what if you need it at that time to treat that infection?
So this is where we get back to what is functional medicine. It's preventative medicine. Mm-hmm. So when that child is given clean water, mm-hmm. and that child's given fresh food with lots of vitamin C that boosts the immune system, and that child is not given sugar that depresses the immune system, and not given pasteurized milk, which creates dairy allergies, which most kids have.
Oh, wow. Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So then we're not creating the condition for strep throat.
But that child also goes to school.
So you're assuming that the germ theory is right, my dear, which it has been debunked. Sickness does not come from the outside; it comes from within.
How bad is sugar in a child's diet?
Absolutely, it's toxic. There is nothing worse.
So then there's nothing,
and it's highly addictive.
So then there's nothing. It's not true, the whole contagious thing.
Absolutely not.
So if I have strep throat and I cough at his face, he won't get contagious.
Depends on his immunity, now, doesn't it? So immunity, health comes from within, my dears. Right? This is knowledge is power. So when we support the body,
that's why I don't get sick.
When we make healthier...
My immune system's too strong.
Well, that's great. When we support but this is true, because you know it. You guys have a grandmother that's older, right? That probably did real herbs. There's powder arco, there's a cat's claw, right? There's all these natural herbs out there. Garlic, just garlic. Huge, powerful, natural antibiotic. I just made for my friend Kim, who is going to come today, I made a batch of fire cider, which is naturally fermented garlic, onion, turmeric root. There's some cayenne in there.
What is that, like something you'd like drink a little bit every day type of thing?
Exactly. And it's got some raw honey in it, and boom. I swear she was very sick a week ago, and a day later I said, Kim, I know you don't feel good. She had dealt with mold exposure, and boy, that girl's ready to rock and roll in like 1 week. I'm like, I'm taking credit for healing you. Of course, she did it herself. So getting back to when I'm working with my clients, we're doing this together. I'm providing science-based education. There is nothing I will ever say to you or anybody or to my clients that is not backed up. Mm-hmm. Okay? There's articles. There's videos. I did not make this stuff up. I just know it works because I've done it personally myself long enough. I've raised 2 children. My daughter's 31. My son's 26. They did not have allergies. They did not have asthma. They did not have these issues because not only did I do the preventative medicine of delaying vaccinations.
That's another subject.
Absolutely. There is, without a doubt, a link to autism. There's all sorts of gaslighting that's gone on with this for years. The whole thing.
So your kids have never been vaccinated?
Absolutely not.
So you don't think the COVID vaccine is healthy?
Oh, that's a whole other topic. How much time do we have, people? And I want to know who's listening to this because who needs to have me on Joe Rogan? They haven't had me on yet.
Big Pharma's listening.
Oh, I'm sure they are. So you know what? Listen, I would be honored to be in somebody's spotlight but I'm not the only one saying what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is true. Most people know this because y'all are, you're vibing with me. You're getting this. And most people do. They just haven't heard other people say it yet. Yeah. They know their doctors aren't saying it. They're not going to step out. Why? Vested interest. Everybody's afraid that they're going to be adversely affected. Well, guess what? I don't work for anybody. I don't sell products. This is why I'm self-employed. I am a free agent. And guess what I get to say? I get to say the truth.
More people are awake to it, I think, today.
It's every day.
It's just a little scared. Talk about.
You know
and not
what?
only that, but everything that's bad is very easy and accessible,
and cheaper.
Not true. Well, have you seen the Coca-Cola? Have you seen how much you're paying to poison yourself?
Well, I haven't had Coke in forever, so I don't even know how much it costs now.
How do I know you used to drink Coke? Just a guess. So this is a big lie, guys. This is a big, lots of lies. Lots of lies that it. Oops. Is this good?
Yeah.
Okay. Lots of lies that it costs too much to eat healthy. So this past year, I'm growing all my own food out in Golden Gate Estates. I put last April, I put in sweet potato slips.
Oh, sweet.
I have 3 big buckets of both purple and orange sweet potatoes for free. This cost me nothing. I have kale. I have arugula. I literally am able to grow all my food, and this was in just like 6 months.
And it's all like flourishing, like it grew fast.
I will have you over. I'm the chapter leader for an organization called the Weston A. Price Foundation, the Naples chapter leader, and I'm having a potluck. There'll probably be 50 people over on Sunday.
Oh, wow.
Where we get together, we share healthy food. My friend Abby is a massage therapist. She's going to be talking about what she does. And yeah, this is a big part of building community and spreading this education. So, there are more and more people who, when we say people are afraid of this or that, well, what's your health worth? You're going to let yourself be brainwashed into eating sugar and saying, oh, it costs too much to get healthy. Beans are cheap. There's a lot of things that are inexpensive and that you can do yourself. And when you eat real food, you feel better. So you can pay now or pay later when it comes to your health.
That's why I tell you stop eating crumble.
So what
What's crumble? Which, by the way, I'll tell
crumble
you.
Cookie.
So anything, listen, this is another part of what I teach. And you say, what do I do with clients? Yeah. We talk about food. We talk about exercise. I'm also a yoga teacher. I've practiced for 26 years. And we talk about self-care. And self-care is the linchpin to learning new things about the diet and taking care of ourselves, right? We got to care. We got to want to, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, nothing's going to change.
Sugar really is addictive, I think.
100%. They say it's worse than crack. Not that I know, but for sure, anybody who's eaten sugar. So a big part of what I do, and 10 years ago, I had an organic cafe, a juice bar and cafe up in Asheville, North Carolina. A lot of people have heard of it. It was incredibly successful. It's called Medea's Espresso and Juice Bar, and then we rebranded to Medea's Real Food Cafe. I had a full menu. I had 3 side dishes, 3 soups, 7 juices. We made both pastured chicken and grass-fed beef bone broth. And this was real food. I was able to show people that real food heals, and they had the experience of it. And when you eat better, when you start eating real food, your body just lights up, and you want to keep feeling better.
When you want something sweet?
So I was getting there, but what I also had in my restaurant was a number of healthy desserts.
Okay.
So I love chocolate. And I make chocolate bark. I make all sorts of a chocolate mousse with raw cacao. So anything you like, you can make. I even have an ice cream maker at my house. I make my own gelato and sorbet. You can make everything with better ingredients. You can make it with superfoods.
Like to cook? You don't like to make anything.
Well, okay. So listen.
Go to see the
the question is, there are restaurants, but if you want to be healthier,
you have to.
Well, you don't have to. It's not really cooking, but it's you can just have healthy ingredients in your house that you end up throwing all of 2 or 3 of them on a plate, and that's your meal. That's pretty much what I do. This is not fancy French cooking. Eating healthier is about the quality of the ingredients.
It's not even cooking. If you don't like cooking, just don't think it's cooking.
It's not cooking.
Stuff.
It's nourishment. It's fertilizer. So if you want to change your physiology, you got to change what you're doing.
So what? It's basically all organic?
Well, what is organic?
How do you know if something is, like, let's say, cilantro or vegetables that you normally buy? How do you know that it's...
You go like this.
You look and it should say organic.
And if you close your eyes and your eyes open, it's organic.
What?
I have never heard that organic test before. But yes, most of it's labeled in the stores. So Sprouts here in Naples is a great prices. You can even get organic at Aldi.
That's where the frozen grapes are if you're looking for Andrea.
Yeah.
But how can we...
so I'll let you... You had a good question from me.
Yeah, how can we change this, in your opinion, from the top?
Well, so when the top, folks, the top is crumbling. Okay, from within, from a place of greed. Okay,
It's really starting at the bottom with
That's why I wanted to get.
And immorality. Okay, the evil empire we are seeing implode right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and when there's all these lobbyists, the poorest people have the worst food. It's not. We have to stop looking for somebody else to save us. Okay, we are the ones we've been waiting for. If you've ever heard that phrase before.
Yeah, but I've also heard that majority always wins, right?
Well, guess who is the majority?
We are the majority.
We are the
1% is not the majority.
The people who want to survive, who want to be healthy, who don't want to be dependent on a doctor or medications, will be the majority. Because if you see the lifespan declining, if you see how many, the cancer rates, you see how many children have these very serious sicknesses, right? Mm-hmm. They're not going to last very long. So it's time to level up. If you want to be healthier, then eat healthy food, period. If you don't care, okay. We all get what we want. And we just have to decide what we want. But is it impossible to learn what healthy food is? Is it impossible? Is it impossible to?
Yeah, make a grass-fed burger.
What was that?
Yeah, they make a grass-fed burger.
You want a grass-fed burger? Awesome.
Yeah,
So this is a big reason about learning about sustainable. I'm also a sustainable living consultant because I'm helping people. How do I source healthy food? Do I grow it? You can just do it in containers. You don't even need. I'm on 5 acres. You don't even need all that. You can do it in an apartment. You could do microgreens. You get on TikTok, guys. There's all sorts of people doing all over the world. Mm-hmm. There's rooftop gardens. There's people in inner cities, food deserts, and I applaud these people so much who've said, screw Coca-Cola and the vending machines in our schools that are literally trying to kill our children. Mm-hmm. We're the parents. We're going to start a garden. And actually, I have a friend here, Danielle, that wants me to be involved with the PTO. My children are older, but to help the schools are going to do community gardens, and then they take that food into the kitchen. So this is not impossible. This is how humans used.
They do that at preschool yards.
This is how humans used to live, guys.
Need to do that.
That's awesome. So more and more is happening, but there has to be, number one, an awareness of the problem. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm sick, my kids are sick, the drugs aren't making anybody healthier, right? We're treating symptoms, we're not looking at the cause. And then we have to be willing to get educated and find community, find other people that we do this together with. And so I teach wellness workshops. I've done this for 26 years. I teach fermentation workshops. I teach about juicing. And I'm the chapter leader of this organization called West Nate Price. And now we've connected with NAP, is Naples Area Permaculture Group. There's various food forest groups throughout Southwest Florida. And the people in that are in my chapter, there's an interconnectedness of people who are going to grow healthier food because they want to be healthier. And then we don't have to worry about the organic in Whole Foods that now has Bill Gates a peel, which is a toxic peel that was approved to be put on organic food. Kid you not, you can look this up. So
you only eat organic?
So now you don't know what it
so
is it organic or not?
So what does organic mean?
Yeah.
It's supposed to mean
it means it doesn't have herbicides and pesticides.
Yeah.
So a great resource that I share with my clients, because I'm all about the resources, and I'm not about take my word for it. This is 26 years of education. There's a website called the Environmental Working Group. It started in the mid-'80s. You guys can look it up. Every year they publish something called the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. So the Dirty Dozen is the vegetables that have the most pesticides, chemicals. Apples for years was number one. 14 different chemicals on.
I knew there was a reason I never liked apples.
On a conventional apple, but celery. When you see grapes,
what's the organization?
Grapes and berries. So it's called Environmental Working Group.
I'm gonna say
.org. So you can download the Dirty Dozen Clean 15. They have another website called Skin Deep that's about skincare. That's great. They have one about sunscreens, right? Because there was all this stuff about people getting skin cancer from the sunscreen, right? They said the sun caused skin cancer, and then actually they had to roll that back and say it's all the toxins. Yeah. So this happened in Australia. They did this
really?
big public campaign.
That makes so much
No.
sense.
They did this big campaign where everybody listened and used sunscreen, and then all of a sudden they end up all with vitamin D deficiencies, and they end up with skin cancer, and it was because of then they had to change because they were such sheeple, unfortunately. I mean, but there's all of us have to wake up and get educated. The information's there.
And I saw that tampons. 100%.
That
they're like super bad.
Sure.
That's why you have to get the organic.
Talk
or
about
whatever.
toxemia, right? Talk about being
scary.
toxin from
That's
the
probably why I
inside
have
and
bags under my eyes.
bleach cotton. And so this is where the nutrients need to come in and the toxins need to come out. Probably it could be. There's multiple factors.
I don't see it.
There's multiple factors.
Thank you.
But once I have one thing I want to say, guys. If people Google me. On Google, obviously, there's a number of great reviews, right? Medea's Healthy Lifestyle Concepts. Also on my website, I have tons of testimonials. And these, when you say, well, what don't we need something specific? All these people have different issues, different ages, different problems. My one of my recent clients, Sandra, did a 5-star review. She had H. pylori. I met her last year when she was in the hospital for 2 weeks.
What the heck is that? What?
It's a bacteria. Called H. pylori that embeds in the lining of the stomach. And she had severe gastritis, like doubling. And so she ended up going to the hospital. But so she had all these serious problems. She had both thyroid, she had uterine fibroids. And I got her started on what I teach my clients, healing the gut, getting the right nutrients in.
So you changed her diet, gave her
and
the
guess
vitamins
what?
she needed.
Gone without the medication,
meal
without the
plans,
drugs.
or you
Absolutely.
just-
So it's what to shop, what to cook, what to eat. Yeah, we do. It's practical information. Sorry, what was that?
What are your thoughts on semaglutide?
Do you know what that is?
Semaglutide?
Yeah.
Have you heard of that?
It's like a medical weight loss shot.
Oh, yeah. So what are we doing here? Are we treating the problem or are we treating the symptom?
Band-Aids.
That's the quick.
So listen, that's you. I'm sorry, you can't cheat your way around. And then what's the new shot that they're giving people for diabetes? And I swear to God, I saw it on
Ozempic.
Ozempic. Jillian Michaels promoting it. Okay, this is so toxic. This is so bad. Oh, yeah. And once you take it, it's an injection for life. So I think this is an IQ test for the public, okay? Mm-hmm. Because the dumb people are just not going to be able to procreate and survive. This is it. We're in the end game here. That you either say, is this real food? I'm a real human. I need real food to be healthy, or just, I don't know. Fall in line, listen to your idols.
And then die
and you
early.
And this has happened. I mean, a lot of the mortality around COVID was because these people were already really sick.
Yeah.
The people that were healthy did not have issues. They did not have issues. So this is really life and death. This isn't just like, I want to lose 20 pounds and look hot. This is your life. And this is also for young people. You guys want to have children. That's getting harder and harder. Because of the endocrine disruptors of the xenoestrogens.
Like,
that's
it's
plastic.
So hard to get pregnant.
How long have people been putting plastic in the microwave? What do you think you were doing? Don't you know plastic melts? Don't you know that you're eating this? So this is just common sense, but we've been so brainwashed that, whatever, it's in the store. It wouldn't be in the store if it's bad for me.
Yeah.
So
I'm moving.
Moving to
third world.
I'm dying.
Where'd you grow up? You guys grew up in Peru?
I grew up in South Florida.
In South Florida.
But they grew up in Peru.
Almost third world.
No. Yeah, well, so a lot of places that had real food, real soil, healthy soils, you have to have healthy soils to make healthy food. And you're eating real foods. One of the main things I teach is fermentation that helps heal the digestive system. So when we talked about leaky gut, it helps kill the bad stuff, which is candida. It helps put the good bacteria back down so the roots that are in your digestive system can work. And then when you get real, what's called nutrient-dense food, just real food, and then you can absorb it, the body will heal itself. And again and again and again, when every client with every different issue, different age comes to me, guess what? They're getting better. They're losing weight. They're feeling better. They have more energy. They're sleeping. They're not constipated anymore. Whatever they had that wasn't right ends up healing. And I didn't invent this. This is nature. I just understand how it works. And it's these very basic laws of biology.
Where can people find great information about what you're talking about because there's a lot of information online, but there's a lot of
fake info too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, so they can go to my website. I already gave you guys some other sources like Environmental Working Group, but so this is what I do for a living. Because there is information. I also teach workshops. So you can come to a workshop. By the way, I am going to be at ECHO, which is an educational center up in Fort Myers. They have a Global Food Day Saturday, March 16th, and I'm going to be doing a fermentation demonstration. I'm a community partner with the ECHO, and I'll have a booth there. And so people can go to those things. But listen, until you have that kind of one-on-one support and accountability about what are you doing and what do you need to change, what supplements aren't you taking, what should you take, what exercise aren't you doing that you are lying to yourself about going to the gym or working out and you're really not, until you have the education, science-based education, until you have the skills, what to shop, what to cook, what to eat, simple, healthy, easy, delicious, and you have the support and accountability, then it's not really going to stick. It's going to bounce off. It's just a philosophical idea about getting healthier. But when you experience it, and my clients in the first week, in the first couple of days are feeling better, things start shifting right away. Just like you see a plant that's dehydrated and you water it, day later, it's all perked up. That's what happens to my clients. That's how quickly the body will heal itself when it's given the right things. Mm-hmm. So that's the deal is if anybody listening really is struggling, they know they need support. One of the main things I help them do is weed through all the contradictory information. Should I be keto? Should I be vegan? Should I plant-based? There's so much misinformation. So when I started this, mid-80s, there was nothing about nutrition. And now it is TMI. And so I really have sympathy for somebody who's not, I'm a professional, this is my business, this is my life, this is what I practice. I also practice what I teach, and it works. But for, I have a lot of sympathy because I wouldn't know. There's
what do you think about all those random diets now or different eating lifestyles, keto, paleo, all that stuff?
It's called money, honey. It's called how do we make another buck?
Sure.
It's called money,
honey. What do you think about
honey.
tofu? What do you think about tofu?
There's a lot of.
You love tofu.
You like tofu?
No, I've never had tofu.
Okay.
Yes, you have.
Tempeh is much better.
And that
in
miso soup.
Miso
that
soup.
little white square that's tofu.
Yeah.
Maybe once in a while.
So
I thought it was a marshmallow.
We're gonna start coming up.
So the main thing to know about eating healthier. So when I work with a client, I help them understand what's going on with them. And when we do a program, we create a program together. It's not like you doing my program. It's me helping you create your program. What are you having? Better quality food. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. What are you exercising? So I do a functional medicine protocol based on that intake form, and then we create a program. Mm-hmm. And I'm providing this support and accountability over time.
Yeah.
So there's usually a minimum number of sessions based on what that person needs. I've had clients with cancer. I've had clients who just wanted to feel better and didn't really have anything wrong. So depending on that. And then we'll meet either weekly. People who are really critical, I might meet twice a week, right? Reach out to me if they got something going on. Weekly, and then after they kind of get a hang of what to do, then we'll move it to every other week.
When I'm hungry, I go to sleep.
So listen to this, guys. And I've had people just literally gasp So when I sit down with them and we go over what we're going to do, I have literally a 3-page program agreement. Okay. So it covers everything that we're going to be covering, how it works, why it works. Cravings are a sign of deficiency.
Damn, I'm good.
It's not about willpower. Your body doesn't have what it needs. Yeah. So it's going to crave and also when you eat sugar, you crave sugar, which I don't know what's in your blue stuff, but that is not a natural color.
Actually, we just learned something about this place called 239 Nutrition. We're not sponsored, but
this right here,
there's no sugar in this.
Yeah, what's that color? Is that is that spirulina?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I have no idea what the heck's in
this. Is mental clarity.
It's Herbalife. Right, it's Herbalife. That brand. I don't know.
Okay, so
you guys been going hard with the sugar lately.
So this,
you guys,
so this, guys. So what should you be doing before you put something in your mouth?
Pay attention to the ingredients. But
this goes for everything that you put in your mouth. Okay, you should know where it's been.
But it's all.
You should know where it's been.
I know that.
And you should know what it is. You need to know what it is. What I'm talking about is reading ingredients. Okay.
Oh, they like to do that.
Yeah.
So
this is.
It's literally all Herbalife.
This is super clean ingredients right here.
Very
that color is not a natural color.
That's spirulina.
No, spirulina is not that color. That's okay.
It's just because it makes.
All right, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna ask them exactly which Herbalife ingredients it is.
Yeah, that company's been around for a while. I don't know. So the thing is, knowledge is power. When we look at the ingredients, so this is what I'm teaching my clients. Listen, if you're going to put your hard-earned money and you're going to buy something, why wouldn't you get the best? Right? You go shopping for clothes. You want the clothes. You wanted a car. Are you going to buy just a shitty, cheap car?
Some people might, but
some people might, and then they're going to end up putting more money down the road, right?
Yeah.
So if we want health, we have got to invest in health. Yeah. And it doesn't mean it's going to cost more, but we need to take that time and energy to go, what is going to benefit me? What is a real food? Why does my body need protein? What are good fats? What are healthy carbs? What does fiber do?
Is it good to eat 3 eggs a day?
Why specifically 3?
That's just what she eats.
That's my number. That's my breakfast, but they make fun of me.
I don't make fun of you.
So part of it, guys.
You.
No, I say.
Well, first of all, it depends on.
They smell sometimes.
It depends on the quality, right? So just like everything is the quality of the
I can tell you right now, they're not organic. We eat organic eggs.
No.
Cage-free, whatever.
Pasture ones.
Pasture raised.
Yeah.
But what
But then they go to the restaurant and they eat whatever.
So what do you think?
Like, so you guys are ratting on each other.
Listen, do you go to First Watch and ask them,
this is great.
Where did you get your eggs?
This is great. You guys are bringing up a very good point. So when couples come to me and they're like, oh, we'd like to work with you, Medea, which when I had my cafe up in Asheville from 2014 till 2017, it was super successful. I had many couples approach me. And I said, okay, guys, great. I'd love to work with you. But guess what? I'm not a marriage counselor. I am not going to have you saying he's not eating in the greens and him telling me you're not exercising. So if you want to work with me, these are
do it together.
No, these are separate programs.
Okay.
Because guess what? Now you have the individual time and attention. Do you have different dietary requirements? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. A male and female, absolutely. And especially as we get older, there's different requirements. And it was very, very successful for both people. Now, we did some classes together. We did a fermentation workshop because they're buying the same food and they're living together. Yeah. But there were some things that they really needed and appreciated that individual time and attention, right? So we're talking about 3 areas when I meet with my clients. We're talking about food. What have you tried? What's new? What recipes? What questions? What do you like? What don't you like? Oh, now I want a healthy dessert, right? I got people coming for Christmas, which by the way, I made an amazing, completely healthy pecan pie. I made biscotti this year, gluten-free, grain-free biscotti.
Sweet in the pecan pie.
Amazing.
Pecan pie is my favorite.
And well, it's not high here's a clue. It's not high fructose corn syrup.
Uh-huh.
There are natural ways. So there are natural sweeteners out there.
Monk or something.
There's a number of different things that you can use. Now we're never going to get healthier just eating desserts, but there are some healthier alternatives these days than there used to be. Mm-hmm. But when I'm meeting with clients separately, then because we're talking about food, we talk about exercise, but it's the self-care piece. And I do recommend that my clients start journaling. And it's not just a food journal. I mean, like, how do I feel about myself? And what I say, getting on your team. Because if you're always talking negatively, I'll never be healthy, I'll never this, and you're in a negative mindset, it's really hard to make positive lifestyle changes.
That makes sense.
When you're constantly have a negative rhetoric that you adopted, it might not even been yours. It could have been your parents talking themselves down or talking you down as a child. And now we have this old programming. So this is where I am truly a holistic practitioner. And there's so many resources out there that it's not dieting. The main thing for people to know as a functional medicine nutritionist, I'm helping them reverse chronic conditions, autoimmune, digestive, hormonal, joint pain, anything you could think of that's not caused by a trauma, right? That's a chronic condition, can be healed, can be reversed. But when we see the value in ourselves, when we move to a place of self-love and self-worth, then we have a vested interest. We want to take care of ourselves, right?
Right. Yeah. My grandma, she's 103 years old.
That's amazing.
And I've seen her drink soda, eat whatever she wants, drink alcohol.
Okay.
So in my mind...
So that means it's okay for you to do that now?
No. That's not where I was going.
Okay, good.
Like in my mind is like... So I start questioning, right? So what's right? Not what's right, because it's not, I barely drink, right?
Right.
But
water or
can
what?
you
So
how can we
how can you explain
someone being 103 years old and then we have people working out and doing everything?
I have an answer for you. So she's not that age because of the sugar, right? It's not because people who smoke and eat junk and are still old, that didn't get them to that age. What happened is they were born at a time, her parents were not eating chemicals. Her her first foods were healthy foods. She was not vaccinated as a child.
Oh, that's very true.
Right?
Probably was.
So remember what I said, we're as strong as our weakest link. Mm-hmm. So you have people grow up in these agrarian cultures, real food, real exercise, real sunshine. They have a strong constitution.
Yeah, but then we have a whole bunch of people that don't make it her age that didn't have everything that you said too. And people died early.
So it depends. So we're as strong as the weakest link, right? Mm-hmm. So we have commonalities that keep us healthy. We know this, just like growing a garden, right? All plants need water. All plants need sunshine. Some more than others, right? Mm-hmm. But then there's this piece as humans called individual will. Mm-hmm. And if some people want to be in anger and resentment, this is the emotional part of healing. Mm-hmm. This is the book that I gave you that you still need to read called You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay.
2 years later.
Because she, 2.5 years later, but she connected how unresolved emotional issues create
illness,
physical problems. Physical.
Yeah.
This is true.
I feel like she lived this long because she never had a stress in her life.
Yeah. Well, of course. There you go. That's the biggest factor. So what is stress? Stress is holding on.
How do you know that?
Passive.
No,
who lives without stress?
No, I mean,
passive.
Especially
she
having
never
a business.
had to worry about
She had a business, so she always has to worry.
The years that I know my grandma, she never struggled financially. She had things paid. And I feel like she lived a very calm life. Yeah. So I think that has something to do with...
Yeah, of course. And also from being that in a culture... so in Paraguay, so the neighbors, we were there to help them do agroforestry and talks. And it was kind of like they saw us and like, why are you here? Because the phrase I learned was tranquilo no más. Right? Tranquilo. Mañana. And then mañana. So they weren't stressed. And I came from this culture like, hurry up, get things done. We got to measure this. We got to.
I'd rather be stressed.
So of course they were enjoying their lives. They were enjoying nature.
Yeah,
While we were there, things are very slow.
When we go visit, it's like so.
Tranquilo. Did you guys use that word too? Tranquilo?
Oh yeah.
Hakuna Matata.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a big part of it too. It's listen, and when you have faith and something outside of your economy, your government, etc., right? You really have faith. Mm-hmm. It is something that gives you that peace of mind and no, I'll be fine. I'm going to survive. I'm protected, forever connected, forever protected. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience, and you guys, for all those people who get into quantum physics, this is true. This is real. We're having this experience, but we're from a source that's so much greater than us, and that manages our heart is beating, right? You don't have to think about that. You don't have to think about inhaling and exhaling, right? The only thing we have to think about is what are we putting in the pie hole, right? and if it's pie, you're going to end up sick, right?
14 grams of protein.
Yeah.
14 grams of protein right now.
And that stuff? Okay.
No.
So that's, yes.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I have some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
These are fun. These are just fun, random questions.
Okay.
Here we go.
Shoot.
COVID shot or flu vaccine?
None.
Or that's like
I'm just kidding with that one. That one's not even in here. So let's do, what digital or software tools do you use daily to make your life easier?
So digital tools, are we talking about software or hardware? Let's be all techie on this, huh?
It could be software. It could be anything.
Yeah,
digital.
well, I'm on, I always have my phone with me. So one of the things when I'm working with my clients, part of their program is I'm available 24/7. So I don't think they'd find a practitioner that does this. So no, I have an Android. I love it. I have great pictures.
Okay, so Android.
So yeah, amazing.
The green text.
Yeah, no, it's not in green. Well, I guess it's in. I guess if I text somebody who's got an iPhone, it comes out green.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. But
if you can only eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Coconuts.
I thought you were going to say Coke. I'm going back to square one.
Yeah, no. Because listen, have not people survived on islands just with coconut, right? Coconut water has all the electrolytes, and then coconut meat. It's got all the proteins. True. It's got. It was a kind of a toss-up. I thought of avocados first, but coconuts have the coconut water, which is the electrolyte, and it's been proven people can live on just coconuts. So if there was something, but of course, there's a lot of great healthy foods out there, bio-nutrient dense.
Do you prefer winter or summer?
I'm here in Naples for a reason.
Summer.
I grew up in the Northeast, and that was 9 months of winter and dark.
Oh, wow.
And lots of shoveling and, scraping ice off the windshield. Now, I have forgot what winter is like. I've been down here 5 years, and I'll put up with the, with the warm weather. For sure.
What is your favorite holiday?
Well, I think I'd say Christmas. I just had a really fabulous Christmas. Both of my kids came to visit, and my son brought his fiance, announced his engagement, and we cooked together and went down on 5th and went out to the beach, and we had a great time. So I love the family, and it lasts longer too. Than, so
5th Avenue or Mercado?
It kind of depends on
what you want to
night or what I'm going to do, but there's very different experiences. I would probably say 5th, but that's only because you can go around the corner and get to 3rd Ave, and I really do like Campiello's. I like the
3rd's nice.
I like the restaurants on 3rd. Yeah.
Okay. If you can only work 2 hours a week, what would you do in those 2 hours?
Exactly what I'm doing now, which is working with my clients. Yep.
A book you'd recommend to read?
Well, that's funny you said that. Because I am currently in the process of writing a book.
Oh, awesome.
called Eat from the Earth, a practical guide for personal and planetary transformation. So this is really putting together the idea that you do not have to be an expert gardener to grow your own food, or to eat better, right? To learn how to do fermentation, to learn about juicing, simple, healthy, easy, delicious, and then improve your health. So we're not going to have personal health without planetary health.
If you can have lunch with anyone dead or alive, who would it be?
That's a good question. I think Einstein. I think Albert Einstein. So.
What's your favorite restaurant in Naples?
Goodness, there's a couple of good choices. So my friend Ming opened Cafe Nutrients a number of years ago, and I met him when that was down close to Fifth Ave, and it was called Cafe Nutrients, and he just rebranded. He connected with Peter, who owned Natural Wines, and now it's called Bar Not, or Not, and it's off 41, and it is kind of like a tapas bar. But it's what they call scratch kitchen. So everything's organic, everything's homemade, like gnocchi. And then the wines, Peter knows his stuff about wines. Give him a shout out to Peter and Ming. And he'll do pairings. But these wines are all from Europe. They're all old vine. They're all family wines, no sulfites. So again, it's real food. So these guys have created a beautiful experience when people come to Naples. And it's not about quantity, it's about quality, right? And you can taste it.
When you think of the word successful, who comes to mind?
Well, I would say anybody who's really living their passion. You know, I guess I'm not somebody who really idolizes celebrity and that's the idea of success. I see so many people, Mike, put it this way, who I think is successful when a client decides to hire me and works with me and they have the switch. They have the knowing that, wow, I did this and this shifted. All of a sudden I don't have headaches anymore. I don't have, my joints don't hurt. I mean, that's success, right? I think that we need to stop looking for other people to tell us, who we should be or how we should be. So it's really about understanding who we are, right? And empowering that and becoming successful.
If you can choose any other career path, what would it be?
There is none. This is it. I think this is enough. So I'm moving on to, I'll always do what I've been doing. I mean, this is something that as a child I was attuned to. And
I can tell you're very passionate.
Wanted to understand healing, was connected with the natural world. And, my education has been learning how it works. Learning science is the language of the universe, the biology and chemistry and microbiology and all this stuff. And so it's been learning how we can improve our lives by living, just a more natural life. And that it does work. So
what's been your best investment?
Probably my education. Yeah.
What's a bad piece of advice you've heard people telling others?
Oh, right on the topic. Do you know what I've heard?
What?
Oh, everything's okay in moderation. Why is that wrong, folks? Now you get to answer a question. Why is
sugar is never good.
Well, everything's okay in moderation, but what's everything? How much of everything is absolute
There's too much gray.
poison?
Too much gray on that.
Yeah.
When 99.9% of what you find in the grocery store, and this includes Whole Foods, is toxic, then how can you say everything in moderation?
It's almost like
right, especially if you it's almost like saying, yeah, but you're eating a little bit of that. Yeah, but you're eating a little bit of that every single day.
Exactly.
So bad.
So toxicity is cumulative. And this is what's happening. We have more and more and more toxins that are just kind of doubling up on people. It's in the air. It's the glyphosate on the grass. When your dogs and cats are getting cancer, they're not because they're old. They're 3 or 4 years old. And then your children, you're getting severe, chronic illnesses, and cancer's 1 in 2 people, and heart disease. It's like, we got to say there's something we're doing that is not promoting health.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So the whole thing of everything in moderation. Now, I will say, when you know what the right thing is, and I'm 57, I feel better than I did when I was 27. And you do the right thing most of the time. And for most of the time, I'm going to say like 90% of the time, you're eating real food, you're exercising, you're getting good sleep. Then I would say at my age, 10% of the time, I can go out, I can enjoy margarita. I was with my friend last weekend up at Crystal River, or Rainbow River north of here. We went to a restaurant. I don't ask if this is organic. I don't know. I'm on vacation.
What'd you eat?
We got some shrimp, which was amazing. I didn't ask where it was caught.
Some protein?
We got a steak.
Love steak.
We ordered a steak. I think there were some vegetables or asparagus or broccoli. But the point is, when you're healthy, you can do some unhealthy things some of the times it doesn't adversely affect you. But if you're not healthy, you got to get healthy first. Mm-hmm. And this is what people don't understand, right? If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to, not only are you going to keep getting what you have, but it's like a wheel that's out of balance. Over time, it's going to get worse. And especially as we age, if you don't correct it and correct the immune system, correct the digestive, immune, hormonal system, you're going to have more and more symptoms.
What about that saying that, they're young, they can eat whatever they want to eat right now?
Well, you tell me. Have you been to the schools lately? Have you seen a healthy second grader?
I haven't been back since I left.
Yeah.
There's a lot of overweight children.
So who says that? Who's giving these messages?
Older people. Parents say that a lot.
So we got to wake up.
Parents say that a lot to their kids, I think.
No, it's just they're addicted to sugar. And so they're buying it.
It's the sugar talking.
Well, it really, and guess what else is sugar, guys? Alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Same thing. It's called glucose.
Everything is sugar.
Well, not everything.
Like
so
carbs,
when you work with meat,
sugar.
right, but that's not everything. There's protein.
That's why
fat.
I have to read the label, because they put sugar in everything that it shouldn't be in.
Right. There's 3 macronutrients. When you understand what your food is made of and how your metabolism runs, then you can choose the kinds of foods that support your health, support you maintaining your weight as you get older. And it's not a battle. So that's what I'm showing people, is knowledge is power. When you know how to eat, you enjoy eating healthy food, you feel healthy when you're eating food, you're never dieting, it's not deprivation, then, you literally can eat your cake and have it too. There's no downside.
Yeah, we were just eating frozen wild blueberries last night. And I was like, wow, why have we never eaten this before? This is like a dessert.
Exactly. So there's creative ways to enjoy life.
I'm not kidding.
That's great.
Look at me like that.
That's great. And it's also, life isn't just about eating, right? So it's not just what you're eating, but it's why you're eating, right? So is it stress? Is it boredom?
A lot of people do that. Eat of boredom. Yeah.
So
anxious. I think
anxiety.
Yeah. So this is as I'm educating my clients about. And I have a reusable shopping list, meal plans, all those kinds of resources. As they are getting healthier food, then there's tools of how to handle anxiety. Right?
And these companies are smart, right? Because Snickers, that campaign they ran, you're not you when you're hungry.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know what? If you're watching mainstream media and you're paying attention to that, it's all about consuming what is good for you and not consuming what's not good for you. And this goes for our mind as well, and what we're exposing ourselves to. So whoever wants to put it out there doesn't mean you have to listen to it, doesn't mean you have to accept it.
Or that cereal campaign, that breakfast, most important part of the day. But they linked it with cereal.
Yeah. So this is where I help my clients get new information. There's both binders that they have, physical resources. There's also an online resources. So I help them. A lot of times they'll create a dedicated Gmail address or email address where newsletters, recipes will be coming on a regular basis. And then I connect them in the community with other people who are eating healthy foods. We have monthly potlucks. You have friends.
That's another thing. Surrounding yourself with people that also believe in what you believe in, how you eat and all that stuff.
Yeah. And it's not all or nothing. And it's not like, oh, well, I don't like eggs and you like eggs, so we can't be friends. I mean, it's not about that garbage, about being vegan or not being vegan. So it's really not about judgment. It's about understanding, people have different tolerances and different preferences. That's okay.
Yeah.
So, if you were my client and you really like, hey, you asked me about eggs. Yeah, that's great. I'd say just get the best quality because there are hormones and antibiotics in animal products that are not raised specifically without hormones.
Yeah.
Right? So the point is, it's not about perfection. It's about knowledge. And canola oil is one of the worst things you could ever put in your body. So it's short for Canada oil. It was an oil from a plant called rapeseed, which is highly genetically modified, highly sprayed, and it was used for trucks in Canada. It's called
I don't know why they put it in
butter. Because it's cheap.
Is that just to make it like smooth?
No, it's called heart healthy, and it's not butter. If it has canola oil, it's not butter. It's not real butter. It's fake butter. So there's all these fake foods out there, guys, and they're going to say in the label, better than butter. It's healthier for you. It lowers cholesterol. You don't even know what cholesterol is and what it does. We should have cholesterol. So there are layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of misinformation.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's why I do that Irish butter.
This is what
like grass-fed Irish.
Grass-fed, right?
But they also have that same butter with canola oil in it, so you have to actually pay attention.
Away from Ireland.
So this is where I help my clients have the information that then they can understand why I make the recommendations I do.
So you have like a paper or something that says stay away from these things, look at the label, avoid these things.
There is so much information, 26 years worth of information and resources for my clients. Yeah. So there is no stone left unturned, let's put it that way. Any question they have, there is science-based information. I'm not going to just say, oh, don't have canola oil. I'm going to be like, here's a video. Here's a published article. Learn about it. And as people, so I give the information, but the main thing is as they start making a lifestyle change, they start feeling better.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the results speak for themselves. So,
can you buy happiness with money?
Okay, so what is money? What is money?
What is it?
Yeah.
It's a tool.
It's a tool.
It's a tool.
It's a tool. So the other question would be do you want happiness? Do you want happiness? Do you want to be happy?
It's a very technical question.
You started this. So can money buy happiness? So first of all, we got to say,
yes.
Okay.
Once you're happy, if you're happy, it will maximize who you are.
So it comes from self-knowing.
Yes.
And that's not something you can get from somebody else.
Right.
You can't borrow it and you can't buy it.
Yeah. Well, I'll disagree because I felt happy many times by doing something for somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not about what you're getting, it's about what you're giving.
Exactly. Yeah.
So can money give happiness? And I'm saying the happiness comes from within. And from within, we attract the things that we want in our life.
Have you done things with no money for others that make you happy?
Absolutely.
Have you done
all the time? Don't I offer everybody a free consultation? Okay. Hour consultation.
But then
whether they hire me or not.
Can't hire you.
All the talks I'm doing at Echo, I'm doing presentations in education that I don't charge for.
Have you done things?
That's a nonprofit.
Have you done things with money for others that make you happy?
Yeah, absolutely.
So can money buy happiness?
We can, whether it's money, whether it's food, whether it's our attention.
No, but in this case, it's money.
Just money?
Yeah.
It depends what we do with the money.
Yeah.
It depends what we purchase with the money. It depends. It's just a tool. It's an energy exchange, right?
So can money buy happiness or no?
It depends on who gets it and who receives it, right? Okay, you just wanted to come up with a...
No. I just.
Is there a reason you're asking this question?
Yes, because every time we ask this question, and we ask it all the time, I feel like everybody gets very like, if I say yes, they're going to think bad about me. Oh. But in reality, money is not bad, right? It all depends on how you use it. It's just like...
So it's okay.
It's like if you have a microphone,
let's back up. Let's say this. Okay, I will say nice things are nice. Okay, nice things are nice. I've been very lucky in my life to travel. I've been on some great trips, and you can. It's a tool for experience. Let's put it this way. Everything in life is an experience. You can't take anything with you. Yeah. It's not about what you have. Yes. It's really more, it's about what you do and what you experience. So the more resources you have, the more you can experience. But do you need money to have good experiences? No, you don't. Mm-hmm. Because you can manifest them. You can have people gift them. This past weekend, we went up. We had 2 free nights. I got on Facebook and I was saying what I do in nutrition, and this guy invited us to stay up at his river house. And then he told a friend about me up there in Dunellen, and she has a river bungalows, and she said, "Oh, you can spend the next night at my place." I literally didn't even ask for it, and my partner and I spent this beautiful weekend that we had 2 free nights.
It made you happy.
Yeah. But it was money. It was an exchange. And while we were there, we gave them back. I posted some stuff on Instagram, on Facebook. I supported them. And it's an exchange. So money is a form of exchange. And we're going to be currency and money and how we view those things are going to be changing. And I think our attention that we give to each other is conscious attention is the most important thing. Because if money creates happiness, what happens when your money goes away? Are you still happy?
I never said that. So the question was never if there's money, there's happiness, and the question was never. I said, what was the question? Can you buy happiness with money?
And I'm saying no.
No, I say yes. I've done it. I've done it, but I felt I was happy already.
Well, then it didn't buy the happiness.
Yeah, it just made me happy to do what I did.
It made you happier.
Yeah.
Okay, well these are different words, because when you say can money buy happiness, you're assuming that you're not already happy before you have the money.
No, you're assuming, but that's not the question.
Well, when you say can it buy happiness, you're not saying that you're already happy.
No.
Well, money's going to buy me brunch at sales this weekend.
If you said, will money make me happier, can money make you happier?
No, but not just you. Not just you. I think the question is a tricky question, right? Is it a tricky question?
Well, if you don't divide, because there's all these assumptions of what our society has told us, quote, money is.
Because if you ask me, can money buy happiness, I will say yes.
I love this conversation with you.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. We got things to do. Let's do more. Spread it far and wide. Let your listeners know that I'm here to help them.
No, I love this topic, and I think that more people are awake or waking up to
their health,
eating better, preventing problems in their life. And I think that, by getting in contact with you, they can definitely do that.
Absolutely. So there's lots of free, I have about 80 published articles on my website. So there's lots of free information there, quality information. But if they are struggling, have gone from one doctor or one thing or one supplement or one medication to the other, and things aren't better or probably getting worse, and they want to figure it out, then this is what I can do, because there's very few people who do what I do. I don't know anybody in actually Southwest Florida. There's very few people. Now, there's medical doctors that are going to give you a drug. They're not going to tell you why it's caused. There's holistic practitioners, and many times, they have a certain solution, but it's not a program. Do you know what I'm saying? And there's not enough information. And so, if somebody's struggling with something, specifically, I work with people with Epstein-Barr. Certainly, you mentioned COVID. I have a spike protein protocol, which is a protocol to help the body get rid of those spike proteins, which were, by the way, both in COVID, which isn't a virus, it's a man-made bioweapon, and so were the vaccinations. And so this is pretty serious. I had a client who was doing great, fabulous. He got off he took himself off his medications for anxiety and depression and insomnia. And then he got a stroke. And it turns out he had 2 shots. So, the spike protein protocol can really help another preventative layer that if you did get the vaccination, that it's going to help your body get rid of those spike proteins.
That's if you got the vaccine?
Yeah.
Well, you guys have spike protein.
All right. Well,
I've heard a lot about it too.
All right, we're going to leave off there.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
I'm available. You're welcome, guys.
Thank
This is wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.